This poem here is about how we used to be before we came to Africa as slaves. Listen, this is what I want to tell you about that. Number one, nobody comes to get a person if they're stupid and dumb. So, I don't know what you might read in school. I don't know what people might have told you. Don't let anybody tell you somebody came to Africa to get you because you was dumb and you was cooking people in pots and all that. In Africa, black people were building empires. They were building the pyramids. They were building. Anybody ever heard? You better get out here before I knock you to Timbuktu. Your grandma might have told you that. Well, Timbuktu used to be a university, and in Timbuktu, professors used to teach 10 subjects. Now we're talking about before America. America was founded so-called in 1619, but before 1619, in the 1400s, 200 years before America, black people in Africa were getting diplomas. Their teachers were teaching them around the clock. They were studying engineering, mathematics, astronomy, studying the stars. This was 200 years before you was even born here. I'm not even going to talk to you about slavery because you hear a lot of that in school. But I'm teaching you before what happened to you before you came to America. So this poem here is called, I forgot the name of it, I just remember. Sitting on my throne back in the day, a black king in the motherland setting the standards and making the way. Hard times and misery never meant nothing to me. I accepted nature and lived in harmony. Many have lived and many died, but through it all I kept the pride. Even slavery couldn't take my pride from inside. I was bought to trading posts all over the world. I, like many strong men, lost a wife, a little girl. I was stripped of my throne and forced to some Europeans home. I was stripped of my language, which was so precious to me. There had to be other leaders to emerge, to change my destiny. Eventually, leaders began to arise. The Toussaint over to the Denmark Beasts, the Nat Turner, the Harriet Tubman, Mr. John the Truth, the Fearless Weakness, the Gabriel Potters. They began to arise like a strong storm in the skies and make everyone realize slavery was death in the sky. Colonialism and dollarism was the order of the day, but we strong black people. We kept on coming. 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 And said, no way. I'm just going to say them as I remember. I've forgotten the name of a lot of these. I've been writing. I'm 38 years old. I've been writing since I was 12. I used to hate writing. But sometimes the things that you hate, you have to try to turn them into a positive. I think I shared with somebody yesterday. I got into writing because I had a good friend of mine. And we were very good. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I had a very good friend of mine. And I used to be ashamed to speak in front of the class, but he was good at it. You know, and sometimes the thing that your best friends say to you, they can help you or they can hurt you. In this case, the first thing he said, it hurt me. But I had to take that negative thing he said and turn it into a positive. And I remember him telling me one time, because we had to stand up and talk in front of the class. Now, this was when I was in college. I was a freshman at FAMU. And I know what I had in my head to say, but, you know, for some reason we didn't get into, see, y'all getting things early. Y'all getting these things now at 7 and 8. Well, I didn't have that at the school I went to. For some reason, we didn't get into that. So we had to do this when we was at college at FAMU. And that's one thing I think is good about going to a black college, because some of the teachers there, most of them, they're going to have you do things like we're doing here. I remember we had to take an orientation class for our freshman year at FAMU. But we had to do the things like we're doing now. Introduce yourself, tell where you're from, what you like and what you dislike. I'm 18 years old, and I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it and feel comfortable. So my best friend, and his father said, well, how can you I tell you what he said. He said, man, old as you are, man, you couldn't stand up there and introduce yourself. Now, see, he was about 3 or 4 years older than me, and he had been to the military, been to Germany, been to Texas, been all kind of places. So, and that's another thing. In the military, you have to stand up and you have to introduce yourself. So he had that advantage over me, and it made me very mad. He said he made that statement. I said, okay. I knew I could write. Well, I used to like writing, but I didn't feel comfortable with standing and talking in front of people, and it hurt my feelings, and it made me mad. But I've always taken things that make me mad and hurt my feelings, and I try to flip the script and turn the script around. So I said, okay. I found out they was having a poetry group at FAMU. Well, they had a poetry group at FAMU. I got into it, And I didn't feel comfortable with it, but I say, how am I going to get good at this unless I put myself in the fire and learn how to do these things? So, you know, we would have to recite our poems in the poetry group, and then as time went on, I got more and more comfortable with doing it. Okay, so then my best friend, this is about maybe a year later, I said, hey man, I got somewhere I want you to come. And they was having a poetry contest. And it was about 80 people in the whole contest at Fairview University. And I didn't even tell him where I wanted to come. I just wanted him to come. Because I knew what I was going to do. And I knew how he had made me mad a year ago. And I practiced my poem that I was going to do. I say, I don't know how I'm going to be judged, because they had a panel to judge the people. I said, I don't know how, I said this to myself, I don't know how it's going to come out. I say, but my so-called best friend, he going to see something tonight. Now, he hadn't seen me do this and talk in front of nobody until that day that he made that statement. And so I did the poem. And I won 3rd place. I didn't win first. You understand what I'm saying? But sometimes coming in 3rd or coming in 2nd is not as bad as you think. You got to remember, it was 80 people in this contest, and I came in 3rd. And my little trophy was probably about this big. The person won was, the 2nd place was like this, and the 1st place was probably like this. But guess what? I was proud of my little bitty trophy. Because even though I lost, I won. I was uncomfortable with talking in front of people. I'm 19 years old. And that trophy this small. One day I remember I bringing a little bit of trophy about this small. But I'm more proud of that trophy than I am in any trophy I've ever gotten, even when I was playing sports. I won Defensive Lineman of the Year my junior, senior year in high school for football. And I have trophies like that. But that little bit of trophy means more to me than any trophy or any accolade or accomplishment I've ever got. You know, sometimes your friends say things that might hurt your feelings, and you know that you can do it, but you just have to try to take the courage inside yourself and just flip the script on them. You don't even have to argue with them. Man, Bumpy, I can do that. If you know you can do it, on your time off, just work on it. And you don't worry about trying to be great at something just for a person. But in that case, I did. You know, I knew I could do it, but, you know, he said something true. He said, man, old as you are, you can't stand in front and talk in front of these people. And even though it hurt my feelings, he was right. And that's what I was telling some people yesterday. You know, we're very fortunate. Y'all are very fortunate to be able to do this, to have the opportunity to do these things now. It might seem very uncomfortable, but from that time there, I've taken my rights and done other things with them. And when I started getting into poetry, some people say, well, man, how you memorize these long poems like this? I didn't memorize the whole poem. I memorized 2 lines at a time. And I go from there. And if I messed up, I was hard on myself than anybody. I'll be halfway through a poem, and if I forget just one word, I just start over. That's how I do when I'm practicing. I have to recite. And now, as you get more into it, you can fill that gap and just slide something in there if somebody's never heard the poem. So I won't try to ad-lib if somebody's heard the poem, but if it's a new poem that I'm doing, I'll just fit another word in there and keep moving. I won't even miss a beat. How's somebody going to know if I messed up a word if I've never recited that poem before? And if they've heard me do it, that's okay, because there's a such thing as called improvisation, which means you can change it right on the spot. You can fit it in, and you can keep going right along with it. You know, so, and poetry is nothing but, rap is nothing but poetry with a beat. You see? So, that's pretty much I have to say about that.